In the heart of an ancient African town named Obohia, surrounded by lush green forests and rolling hills, lived a young orphan girl named Amara. Obohia was a community where tradition still held strong, and the elders were respected as the keepers of ancient wisdom. Songs of old could be heard at night, and the crackling fires were the keepers of countless secrets passed down through generations. Amara's life had been one of hardship and sorrow. Her parents, once known for their generosity and wisdom, died in a ghastly road accident when Amara was just 13. Left alone in a cruel world, she was taken in by her father's brother's wife. Her stepmother, Mama Ijike, a woman with a heart as cold as the Harmattan wind. Mama Ijike never missed an opportunity to remind Amara that she was a burden. She gave her the worst chores, the leftovers to eat, and rags to wear. But despite it all, Amara grew into a beautiful and kind-hearted young woman. Her eyes sparkled like the morning dew, and her heart was as pure as the village stream. But even her purity could not shield her from the storm that was to come. Amara's only solace was her secret hideout, a quiet spot near the sacred Iroko tree at the edge of the forest. There she would sit and dream, whispering her hopes into the wind. She longed for love, for freedom, for a life beyond the sorrow that clung to her like a shadow. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. When Amara was 18, tragedy struck once again. She was taken advantage of by a wealthy merchant who had come from the city to trade palm oil and cola nuts. He was suave and charming, and for a moment, Amara believed she had found someone who saw her. But once he got what he wanted, he vanished, leaving her alone and pregnant. When Mama Ijike discovered the pregnancy, her fury was boundless. She screamed curses and threatened to throw Amara out into the streets. The shame, she said, would be too much to bear. In Obohia, a girl who became pregnant out of wedlock was seen as a disgrace. Mama Ijike was determined to rid herself of Amara as quickly as possible. But just as she planned to disown her, an idea came to her. Cruel and cunning. What if she could marry Amara off to someone? Anyone, just to save face. And not just anyone. Beggar. Madman. A man the villagers mocked and avoided, Ease. The homeless man who wandered the town barefoot with a tattered wrapper and a wooden bowl. Ease was the mystery of Obohia. He had appeared years ago with no explanation, sleeping in abandoned huts and living off scraps. Children feared him and adults scorned him. They called him the Ghost Man, for he rarely spoke and never asked for anything. But what they didn't know was that Ease was no ordinary man. Amara was heartbroken when Mama Ijike told her she would be married off to Ease. Her tears fell like rain, but her pleas meant nothing. The marriage was arranged within a week. There was no celebration, no feast, no music. Just a hurried ceremony under the old palm tree, with a blind elder muttering the vows. Amara moved into Ease's tiny shack on the outskirts of the village. It was barely a shelter, just sticks, mud, and a leaking thatch roof. She cried every night, her body aching, her spirit broken. But Ease never hurt her. He kept to himself, gave her space, and when she cried, he left her alone. Slowly, Amara noticed something strange. The shack was always clean. There was always food, simple but fresh. And every night, Ease would leave and not return until the early morning, always with new herbs, firewood, or supplies. Over time, Amara began to talk to him. And though he barely replied, he listened. In his silence there was peace. In his eyes there was sorrow, a deep, haunting sorrow that mirrored her own. Months passed, and Amara's belly grew. One day, as she was fetching water, she heard a scream. It was Mama Ijike. She had collapsed in the market, foaming at the mouth. Rumors spread that someone had poisoned her, but no one could prove anything. Back at the shack, Amara found Ease preparing herbs with a focus she had never seen before. He worked like a healer, mixing roots and leaves with precise knowledge. That night, curiosity got the better of her. She followed him as he left. He walked for miles through the thick forest until they reached a hidden mansion, a vast compound with guards, cars, and lights. Amara gasped. Ease walked in confidently, and the guards bowed. Inside, he removed his rags and transformed. Underneath was a man of power, well-dressed, composed, commanding. Amara was stunned. The man she had been forced to marry was a billionaire in disguise. Ease, whose real name was Chike, had left his empire behind years ago after his wife and son were killed in a plane crash. Devastated, he had wandered across the country, hiding from the world, searching for meaning. It was in Amara's kindness and strength that he found hope again. Chike returned with Amara to the village the next day, but not as Ease, as himself. The villagers were dumbfounded. Mama Ijike, now recovering but paralyzed from the waist down, was filled with shame. Chike built a new house for Amara and gave her the respect she had always deserved. He named the child she bore, a son, as the heir to his vast empire. The villagers who once mocked her now sang her praises. Amara never let power change her. She used her new status to help other girls who had been abandoned, building a home for orphans and opening a school for young mothers. Her story spread far and wide, a tale of resilience, humility, and divine justice. Moral lessons. Never judge a book by its cover. The homeless man was a billionaire in disguise. Appearances can deceive. Kindness has power. Amara's pure heart saved her, even when the world turned against her. Evil deeds come with consequences. Mama Ijike's cruelty returned to her. Fate cannot be stopped. What is meant for you will always find you, no matter the detours. Resilience breeds greatness. From pain, beauty can rise. Amara turned her pain into purpose. This story reminds us that the ones we discard may be our salvation, and those who suffer silently may one day rise as kings and queens.